What an amazing ending that really shows us how the fourth movie of Sonic is definitely gonna be. So, as you probably know by now, the Sonic Movie 3 has been a massive success all over the world, as it was expected, to be honest. And this massive success that the Sonic Movie 3 has really opens the door for conversations within the director and the studio of Paramount Pictures to begin creating the Sonic Movie 4, which, as we already know, is definitely in the works. And after seeing the Sonic Movie 3 and its great attention to detail and amazing performance in the big theaters, really makes us ask ourselves what's going to be the plot for the next movie of the Sonic Movie 4. And it's really not that much of a mystery, to be honest, because if you remember, at the ending of the Sonic Movie 3, we see something that none of us expected, but we have been waiting for a long time, and that is the Amy Rose character reveal. She comes to save Sonic against an army of the villain of the Sonic Movie 4. That's exactly what the plotline is going to be, and it's revealed to us in the ending. In the ending, an army of Metal Sonics surrounds Sonic from all places, and he's really confused about what he's gonna do and how he's gonna be able to defeat these guys when all of a sudden a hammer that flies away destroys all the Metal Sonics, and all of a sudden we see a hooded person, and when she takes off the hoodie, we see that it's none other than Amy Rose, and the movie cuts. So the Sonic Movie 4 is essentially gonna follow this plotline, but it's not that simple because there are still a lot of mysteries and a lot of questions that we have asked ourselves about what the plotline is going to be in the Sonic Movie 4. Because yes, the main villain of the movie is going to be Metal Sonic, without a doubt. But how is Metal Sonic created in the first place? How do we know the background? Who created it? Is it going to be one Metal Sonic, or is it going to be an army of Metal Sonics? And if it's going to be an army, who controls them? Because they are robots. They have to have a controller. And the introduction of Amy Rose, and maybe the introduction of other characters that we have seen in the Sonic universe before. And let me tell you that it's going to be a juicy movie to watch, that is for sure, because it's probably going to be the best one out of the whole franchise yet. So that's exactly what we're going to be talking about here today, guys. I'm going to be showing you everything that you need to know about the next Sonic movie, the Sonic Movie 4, and what the plotline is going to be, the characters that are going to be introduced, and all of the details that you have to understand about this movie, and why this movie is going to be the best one out of them all, without any sort of question. So without further ado, guys, and much talk, let's just get right into it. So like I said before, the plot of the Sonic Movie 4 is going to have a lot to do with the ending of the Sonic Movie 3, because in this ending is where we see the beginning of the Sonic Movie 4. Because the scene that we see at the end of Metal Sonic, Amy Rose coming together to save Sonic is actually going to be the beginning of the Sonic Movie 4, where Sonic is introduced to Amy Rose for the first time. So to this, we have a lot of information about the Sonic the Hedgehog 4 movie that really adds a lot to the storyline and makes us understand that this movie is going to be way more special than the third one. If you thought the third one was very special, wait until you see this one. So it goes like this. After the events of the previous film, Sonic and his friends return back to home to relax after defeating Dr. Robotnik for the third time with the help of Shadow the Hedgehog. They remain at home and talk to each other as various incidental things happen. Sonic goes out to fight crime in the city when he stumbles upon the same black site that contained Shadow in the previous movie. He hears strange whirring and mechanical noises coming from the under metal door and decides to peek inside. He peeks around innocently and sees nothing. He prepares to go home when he suddenly hears a sudden clang as if Metal Sonic was dropped onto the ground. He races into the other room and pulls out a sheet off of a massive tube, revealing that a metal version of Sonic the Hedgehog labeled as Project Metal Sonic was in the works. Sonic pokes at the metal clone, although it appears to be off. Then he quickly races off there when he hears a scurrying noise and he has to return home. Metal Sonic's eyes light up and turn on as Dr. Eggman enters the other room with a toolbox. As Sonic returns home, he warns Tails and Knuckles of what he saw at the black site and warns them that a new villain by the name of Metal Sonic has risen. This of course shows us a lot of interesting facts about what's really going to happen in the Sonic Movie 4. Firstly, we have to understand one thing about Shadow the Hedgehog. In the third movie, it is revealed to us that Shadow sacrifices himself for the betterment of Earth, because in the beginning he wanted to destroy it, but after seeing and after resonating with Sonic the Hedgehog and Sonic showing him that he was in the wrong and he shouldn't have all of that negative energy against humanity because of one thing that happened to him, he comes back to his senses and decides to sacrifice himself for Earth, and it is given to us that he passes away. But as we know, it is impossible for this to be the case, as Shadow the Hedgehog is going to be a pivotal character in the Sonic Movie 4, and it is also also revealed to us in the credits that Shadow is really alive when we see the ring scene in the credits, right before Amy Rose comes in and we are shown Metal Sonic in the forest. So knowing this, knowing that Shadow the Hedgehog is going to come back for the fourth movie really enlightens the whole plot, because it really makes it rich, because Metal Sonic is going to be way more powerful than anything Sonic, Shadow, Knuckles, and Tails have ever encountered yet. It is an absolute beast. So let's really delve into this Metal Sonic, who he is, who is the creator, and according to the games, how does he come to be such an evil being, and how is he capable of beating Sonic, Shadow, Tails, and Knuckles at the same time in the games? Let's see it. In the same way that the Sonic Movie 3's plot was really taken from Sonic Adventure 2, released in 2001, where we see the Shadow's gun, the Shadow motorbike, Shadow himself's first appearance, everything in the Sonic Movie 3 is related to Sonic Adventure 2. Well, in the same way that the directors took Sonic Adventure 2 as an inspiration for the plot of the Sonic Movie 3, the same thing is going to happen in the Sonic Movie 4, but with the plot of Sonic CD, because the ending credit scene of the Sonic Movie 3 is absolutely identical to the plot of the Sonic the Hedgehog CD game. Metal Sonic was created in this game by Dr. Eggman with the sole purpose of rivaling Sonic's abilities, and would aid his creator during his invasion of Little Planet, which, if you remember, is the place where Amy Rose met Sonic for the first time, where Amy Rose dreamed that she would meet the guy, and she actually met them there and fell in love with Sonic the Hedgehog. Later on, the robot would ambush and kidnap Amy Rose, who was following Sonic in Collision Chaos. Eventually, in the future of Stardust Speedway, Metal Sonic challenged his organic doppelganger to a race, with Eggman following them with a deadly laser. Despite the odds, the heroic Hedgehog managed to defeat his adversary, who crashed against the wall and was soon eliminated. But Metal Sonic didn't pass away. He was really gonna show up for future games. Metal Sonic was gonna keep being brought up by Eggman to fight Sonic in every single situation, because as you know, in the games, Dr. Eggman and Sonic never reconcile. They are bitter enemies that never talk to each other, as opposed to the movie in the Sonic Movie 3, where they reconcile in the end. This never happens in the games. So knowing all of this information, we know for a fact that Dr. Eggman is going to be the one who controls Metal Sonic. But as we know, in the Sonic Movie 4, it's very unlikely that we're going to see Dr. Eggman again, because Jim Carrey has stated several times that he wants to retire. And it's pretty clear that they wanted to finish him off in the third movie. So the most likely scenario of who's going to be controlling Metal Sonic in the Sonic Movie 4 is going to be the GUN agents and the headquarters. These are going to be the one who control Metal Sonic to go against Sonic himself, Shadow the Hedgehog, Knuckles, and Tails to finish them off once and for all, and to have a great Metal Sonic arise from the ashes. And the new character of Amy Rose, along with the reappearance of Shadow the Hedgehog, are going to help Sonic and his friend Knuckles and Tails defeat this new threat once and for all. But one thing is for certain, this movie is going to give us and deliver us an amazing pack of action scenes that we haven't seen before, especially in the third movie, because if you thought the third movie was filled with these scenes, the fourth movie is going to be even better, because Metal Sonic is not one, he has an army of Metal Sonics. That's why this movie is going to be the most epic one. So what do you guys think? Do you think the Sonic Movie 4 is going to be the best one out of the whole franchise, or no?